What's up, everybody? I'm Jacob. If you're new here, I talk a little bit about everything. And if you like that, stick around a little longer. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about how the robots are hiring. Yes, you heard me correct. Robots, or realistically AI, are now conducting interviews. If you've been watching this channel for a little while, you know your boy's been in software engineering and been looking for work off and on for the last year while studying generative AI architecture. And every once in a while, an opportunity will pop up and go into the interview and you know, pretty much it's been human on human. And one day I found a job description that looked interesting, went into it, and it was an AI interviewing me, asking me technical questions. And I didn't like it. I did find some demos of some interviews, both technical and non-technical. And I also found an article here that talks about what you can do to prepare for an AI interview, which I thought was kind of interesting because it's a little different, but also too, it talks about some of the drawbacks of AI, which I experienced firsthand, and some other ones that I mentioned that I hadn't heard before. But let me just show you a what kind of like a technical interview would look like. We're not going to sit through the whole thing, but I just want to maybe play the first minute and a half so you can kind of see how the interview starts, and then it starts asking you technical questions. So let's switch over to YouTube here. And this is a actually I think these are demos recorded by this company, A Priori. And we're going to play a couple of those. So here's the technical one.
All right, let's get started with the interview.
Hey, Aaron, thanks for joining me today. I'm Alex, and I'll be conducting your interview. I'm excited to get started. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Hey, Alex, it's nice to meet you. My name is Aaron. I studied computer science at Brown University. I'm really passionate about software engineering and all things data science related. So really excited to again get started here.
That's great to hear, Aaron. It sounds like you have a solid background for this role.
Okay, first off, this dude, you know, nothing personal, he kind of comes across like an AI. But yeah, I don't know. I just that human interaction, you know, where you're talking to a person and you're riffing off what they're asking you. And, you know, I don't know how much this AI or how good it is, how it can detect maybe like the energy in your voice, or, you know, do you have any soft skills? Because 90% of the interview is going to be eye contact, you know, body language, you know, how you interact, how you ask the questions. Do you pause and think? Are you just giving it an answer to give an answer? You know, just a, you know, are you methodical? Are you quick? You know, there's a lot of things that they want to, you know, at least I would think they'd want to figure out. But this tool is basically just trying to hire more machines, if you want my opinion.
Let's dive into some questions. This position is in person, so you would come into the London office. Are you able to work in London?
I'm a dual citizen of the United States and the UK, so I don't think that'll be an issue for me.
That's fantastic, Aaron. It sounds like working in London won't be a problem for you at all. Let's move on to a technical question. Python is an important technology for this role.
Here we
Can
go.
you explain the differences between a tuple and a list in Python?
Sure. So a tuple is immutable, whereas a Python.
Okay, I'll spare you. If you're not a software engineer, this is like watching paint dry. But this is one form of a technical interview where they ask you the theories, and they want to see if you drop terminology like tuple and immutable. You know, immutable meaning unchanged, unchangeable, that kind of stuff. But there's also technical interviews where you actually are typing code under like a time constraint. Those are very common. Let me let's play another interview here. of a different kind of process, which is all over the phone, and for a completely non-technical kind of job, just so you get a flavor of what some of these other AIs are doing.
Hey Carson, I'm Alex, an AI recruiter at Resource MFG. I'll be interviewing you today for our manufacturing assembly position, and we'll go over a mix of intro and role-specific questions. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Awesome. First things first, are you at least 16 years old?
Yeah, I am.
Great to hear. Do you have the availability to work over 40 hours per week, including some weekends?
Yeah, but I would prefer not to work weekends.
The way he
Gotcha.
scratches his forehead,
Totally
he ain't doing it.
understand Just to clarify, this position might need some weekends.
See what would kind of like if I were an interviewer, I'd know right away. You know, he's trying to give you the politically correct answer, but he doesn't want to do it. He's not going to pick up on that, especially over a phone. But yeah, I just find that funny.
For mandatory overtime. Do you think that could work out for you?
If it was mandatory, I could probably make some weekends work.
Perfect. Thanks for being flexible, Carson. Now, do you have any factory, manufacturing, or production experience?
No, I don't have any experience in any of those. Is that a problem?
Oh, not at all. No experience is required for this role, and we provide all the training you need. So it's all good. Moving on, this job requires working in a fast-paced environment. How do you stay focused and manage stress when things get busy?
Well, I try to, if it's in a busy environment where there's lots of loud noises, I think putting headphones on or some earplugs in can help you focus. I also try to make sure I'm prepared for the day with simple things, just making sure, I get good sleep and show up on time. And, if it gets especially stressful, I think I just need to focus on maybe the first thing that's in front of me that I can do.
That sounds like a solid approach. Keeping prepared and focusing on the task at hand can really help. Now, why are you interested in working in manufacturing, and what?
Okay. A computer asking you why you want this job. Please. Jesus. I'm sorry. These things, there's this uncanny valley where it's the computer voice. I'm sure the voice will get better over time, but you can kind of see how this guy, when he first started, I mean, he was a little monotone, but he's even like way more monotone, way more like, yeah, okay, I guess, whatever. It's I don't know. For me, part of the interview is reading the other person and kind of feeling, is this interview still going well? Should I keep doing this? With the AI, you're just like going to keep going and going and going, not even know. But yeah, this is it's kind of depressing, to be honest with you. Let's switch over to an article that I have here that talks about different AI interviews, kind of how they work and how you can prepare for them. And it also gets into some interesting problems that I have seen in just the one AI interview that I did. But yeah, the idea is that I kind of find it funny how this article is trying to pump up the AI interview and so that like you can still make a winning impression, as if the AI is going to care what your winning impression is. Because at the end of the day, you're just going to be a score on a dashboard. I mean, let's be real. Because in the old days, you would walk into a restaurant or walk into the job and say, hey, are you hiring? And they'd say, yes. Are you accepting applications? Yes. You fill out the application, give the person the application, and then maybe you get an interview, maybe you don't. At least for like the low skill jobs. And for the higher skill jobs, send in your resume, you get a phone call, all that kind of stuff. Now, what we've had for a while is you had these job boards that started coming up in the .com days for about 20, 25 years now. And you send in your resume electronically, and they have what they call these ATS systems, application tracking systems. And by the way, there's a lot of ageism in those damn things, because your boy's getting older. I found that if I take all my dates off my college degree, certifications, and only put in 10 years of an employment, I get through those ATS systems much more readily, by the way. So, which is going to be interesting as we move through this, because AI has biases in it. It's going to, any software system is going to have a bias in it, whether it's intentional or not, is kind of my point that I'm coming to here. But yes, with these ATS systems, that was it. The application tracking system would look at your resume and go, okay, this applicant has these skills, mentioned these keywords, pass them on to the hiring person. And then an interview would be started from there. Usually, you get a screening call from a human. So now the screening calls are being done by the AI, and even so far as to have the entire interview up to the point to where the HR person is going to either have you interview with the hiring manager or the team that you're going to work with, or if it's like a lower skill job, just call and make you the offer. So that's kind of where we're at nowadays. So I'll read this article a little bit and kind of connect some more dots for you. So at a high level, AI interviews use artificial intelligence to assess job candidates. The purpose of an AI interview is to drastically reduce the time and effort human recruiters must put into the hiring process, which frankly, I understand that because there's more people applying, but it's sort of like this chicken or the egg problem where we have all these tools as job applicants, job boards, where we can just throw our resume like crazy at job offers. And so now recruiters there's just so much more noise and so many more resumes for them to go through. They have to use all these tools to weed out people. And unfortunately, I think, automating much more of this process is going to be more detrimental than good personally. So generally, you answer automated questions before a screen, and AI algorithms will analyze your responses. It's primarily used during the first round of interviews, narrowing down candidates that recruiters and hiring managers will then interact with personally. And I'm even finding that it's like I said, it's stretching further into like almost the offer, which actually would be in my book would be a bad sign, that if you went through a whole AI process and then they called to just give you the job offer, that says high turnover. I wouldn't take that job. Because, you're going to work with other people. Don't you want to know what it's like to interact with the other people on the job? Because that's my big problem with AI interviews, is that how do you interview the company? So, for higher skill jobs, it's likely that you'll get that, that final round interview. But for the low skill jobs, no, this is all about cranking people through the grinder. Definitely. So it goes on to say that the benefits of AI interviews, the main advantage of AI interviews is that it makes the recruitment process quicker and more efficient. For who? Employers can quickly sift through applicants to find the best candidates more accurately. With popular jobs receiving hundreds of applications, screening applicants by hand creates a significant bottleneck in the hiring process. So again, that's because we used to go from handing in our resumes by hand to being able to just apply electronically and just automate it and just blast everybody. So now the hiring people have way more candidates, and today, especially with AI tools that just apply for you automatically these days. Okay, so let's see. Let me skip here to the drawbacks. Despite the potential benefits, AI interviews have some drawbacks. Even with the best of intentions, AI has the risk of perpetuating human biases and violating anti-discrimination law. So here we go. So like I said, I've noticed just with the ATS system, there's a lot of ageism that's in the software for whatever reason. So the tricks that I mentioned earlier is how to get around it. Maybe they'll mention some tricks for doing better with the AI. AI systems don't think for themselves. Instead, they learn from existing data and mimic human behavior, which can contain inherent biases. As a result, automated hiring tools can inadvertently reinforce discriminatory hiring practices rather than eliminate them. So yeah, the data that you train your AI on is very important. And I kind of have this new phrase where like bad data is bad outcomes. because the bad data can relate to real world bad outcomes. Another concern is the interpretation of human emotions by AI systems. For example, the AI could misinterpret an interviewee's facial expressions, body language, or vocal inflections. You know, like the last two videos that we watched, those guys, they sounded bored. I'll just be honest. Where a human recruiter might consider cultural differences, disabilities, or even facial scarring, for example, AI could potentially lead to unfair judgments and decisions. Beyond ethics and diversity, privacy and data security are also essential concerns when using AI in hiring processes. So that's an interesting topic because one of the things that have come up quite a bit in the last few years during, this kind of like this job apocalypse that we're going through right now is we're getting a lot of these automated systems that interviewees or applicants are using to just absolutely bomb companies with their resumes. A lot of companies have actually found that there's profit in using these resumes and even the data they're collecting from the interviewing processes and automated processes and selling that information. It's actually quite profitable. Might do a video on that. I don't have the exact numbers, but it is a lot of money. Let's see, where was I? Unauthorized parties could access candidate sensitive. All right, that's hacking, whatever. Let's see. With the increasing presence of AI in recruitment, many job seekers worry about the broader implications of AI displacing jobs or changing the nature of work itself as automation becomes more prominent. I mean, that's a given. I talk about this all the time on the channel. Short-term pain, which is lots of job loss, economic turmoil, but long-term gain, all kinds of new jobs. We have no idea what they are yet, but they're coming. And, they're, in the meantime, a lot of skills that we understand today are going to be totally eliminated, completely gone. And go back and watch my creative destruction video, and I talk a lot about that in more detail. Let's see, regardless of the drawbacks, because laziness, right? AI looks to be here to stay and will continue to improve. According to SHRM, 83% of U.S. employers already utilize some form of automation in their hiring process. So yeah, they've been using the ATS systems for years and years and years. You'll likely find it part of your interview process as a job seeker at some point in the not too distant future. Dig deeper to understand how AI interviews work and how to best prepare for upcoming interviews. So here we go. I was talking about earlier, there's two kinds of assessments, right? So two types of interview platforms. So I showed you one, which was the AI assessment, where, kind of more the technical, high skill, like software engineering jobs. And they can incorporate some verbal and nonverbal cues where they look at, your facial expressions in the video. And then there's the conversational chatbot, which was the second video I showed you where the guy was just talking on the phone. It's kind of more like a screening process. Let's see, and there's some more components here. Let's see if any of these videos had what they have here. So automated question generation, so they can generate questions based on job requirements, ensuring consistency and relevant content for each candidate. So basically what these HR people do is they put in the job descriptions, and the platforms they're using generates the questions for you automatically. And then over time, you can improve the questioning process. Okay, so real-time analysis and predictive analysis and analytics. So that was kind of, I was skipping. Real-time analysis. AI algorithms analyze candidate responses, both verbal and nonverbal, in real time. This can include measuring response time, speech patterns, and facial expressions. So it's kind of an extension of the technical interview one that I was showing you. And then the phone one could just kind of listen to your speech. But again, those interviews weren't the greatest example of people that, maybe are a little more upbeat when they do the job interviews. Using predictive analytics to match candidates with jobs based on their behavior and responses during the interview. So the idea is that the questioning can be guided a little bit through the interviewee's response, which is powerful. But again, I don't know how broad that is, and how much that would really work in a technical interview versus like like if it's a job with more soft skills where you're dealing with people one-on-one, like in sales. I don't know, how much you'd really want to be using that, because AI is still very primitive in that realm. Let's see. How do you prepare for an AI interview? Research the company and review the job description. I mean, I would do that anyway, even if it was one-on-one. You can tailor your responses during the AI interview to align with the company's goals and demonstrate your knowledge. So that's just, I would recommend that for like a human to human interview anyway. Prepare for common questions. Same thing. Just like you would with regular interview, you're going to have, there's like standard questions, standard responses, all that stuff. That's nothing new. Let's see. Familiar yourself with the AI platform. So here we go. So I don't know how you would know what AI platform they'd be using before you do the job interview, but maybe they're telling you when you apply what it is. Like if it's like a technical one versus just like a chat, on the phone, like a screening one. But this kind of is alluding to the fact that you're going to be interviewing with a specific platform that has specific nuances to it. So let's see, research online, read articles about it, and try to find any available sample questions or practice interviews. Some AI interviewing platforms also demo. Oh, okay. So yeah, because some of these platforms may not be as like flexible, and they'll just ask like standard questions anyway. So I think if you just kind of look up here and research the company and prepare for common questions, I think you'll be fine. This is just kind of beefing out the article for no reason. Test your internet and technology in advance. So again, Zoom in, if you're interviewing on Zoom, that's just whether you're in person or not, that's nothing new. Plan your attire, dress appropriately, of course. I mean, nothing new here. Let's see, master AI interviews. AI can add a level of complexity to your job search, but the principles that help you stand out during a human-led interview will also help you stand out during an AI interview. Okay, so pretty much, it's a zero-sum game in that regard. Fully research the company and the job. Infuse your communications, such as your emails and resume, especially if you build your resume with AI, with keywords from the job ad. So, I mean, even before AI, we still had ATS systems where it's all about the keywords that you put in your resume. So again, that's nothing new. And prepare thoroughly for the interview. Same thing. Combine those 3 habits to help you pass your next. You know what? I think this article really didn't add much to the discussion of like how you prepare. But as far as like what these things are, based on the 2 videos that I showed you, that's kind of what you can expect. And a third one that I didn't show you where they actually test you in real time if it's a technical like coding interview. But other than that, yeah, the robots are hiring. Interview 24 hours a day. Why not, right? So anyway, those were some dots that I thought I'd connect for you. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. Comment below. Have you interviewed with a robot or AI before? Let me know and what your experience was like. Personally, I think people that are more technical are going to hate this. But if you're just like, for like a regular, manufacturing job or lower skill job or something where, they still need humans, it's not that bad. But anyway, comment below. And until the next one, peace.